What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? And I'm going to be off the cuff here and very passionate of what I really want to talk about. And it's the fact that there is a YouTuber. He goes by Reforged Gaming, and I like him to a certain degree because he has some really interesting takes, theories, or perspectives. And like I said again, I respect that. The fact of the matter is, he refuses to play Star Wars Outlaws, not just because of the fact that this game is 30 frames per second, okay? Which is understandable. I totally get it. And am I calling him out? No, okay? And he actually ended up having a little bit of a hot take to where he thinks that this game was way too ambitious, and I might have to agree just a little bit. And the fact that the matter is that he thinks that this game is way too open, there's too much to do. And I actually agree to that to a certain type of sentiment as well, to a certain degree. Not a very big degree, but a very small degree. And he thinks that this game is not that important as to what Star Wars Jedi Survivor or Fallen Order were able to do in terms of its story. And I'm going to debunk this here and now. And the reason why I say this is because I will say that Star Wars Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order were fantastic games. I absolutely fucking loved them. They were fantastic. I mean, how can you not beat being basically a Jedi monk with lightsabers and the Force? It's all intertwined in that certain type of media, whether if it's movies or video games. Now, I think when it comes to Star Wars Outlaws, this is where it's going to get interesting. And this is where I totally believe that why I said that Star Wars Outlaws is an important game. Not just because it's a Star Wars game. It is a game to where you're playing as a scoundrel. You're not playing as a Jedi. And obviously that's a little bit of a dub because a lot of people already know this. You're playing type of Han Solo type of character. Not like Han Solo to a certain degree, but you're playing a Han Solo type of character, but you're playing as a young woman known as Kay Vess. And I'm going to get this out there right here and now. I fucking love this game. Okay? And and that's not putting it lightly. I think this game is very heavy into detail of the quality, not just because of the frames per second, but of the quality. While I did have some occasional crashes on this game, but I have not had any type of glitches. Believe it or not. I'm being honest about this. And what I really want to say, though, too, the story of this game is absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will probably tell me, well, the story is awful in this game. It's freaking terrible. It's awesome. It's so stupid and trash. It's not awesome at all. Okay, be that as it may. But going back to this, what I said before, one more time. This game is not meant to be a Jedi game. This game is a scoundrel game set in the events of before the events of Return of the Jedi and after the events of Empire Strikes Back. So this is where this game gives its focal point and to why it's important into the Star Wars canon saga, especially when it comes to Empire and Return of the Jedi. Because we are getting a story that we never really got. I really think that this is a very unique way. It's a very interesting type of paradigm shift when it comes to a Star Wars IP. And I think that's where a lot of people are saying that this game is trash or it's awful because it's like they're so used to playing Jedi games like Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, which is understandable because I get it. I would feel the same exact way. But what I will say as well is that I have no problems playing a game that you are not playing as a Jedi. Why? It's because it's the atmospheric storytelling to a certain degree. It's the planets that you're able to provide and explore in Outlaws. And I think that's where this game really feels a different type of aesthetic and feel other than from what you played in Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order. And I think Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order did a fantastic job of being canon to the original prequel movies that we've had. But I think when it comes to Outlaws, though, it's the fact that we're getting a whole new type of perspective. We're getting a whole idea of what could have possibly happened in the empire of Star Wars. And I think Star Wars Outlaws does that perfectly. And I know a lot of people will probably say in the comment section on my channel and saying, well, Citizen JV, I think that you make some pretty interesting points, but you're also freaking a dumbass. It's like, okay, be that as it may, this is why this is an off the cuff type of video, is because of the fact that people are afraid to understand that when it comes to a game like Star Wars Outlaws, it's not because of the perspective or the idea of the game. It's the design of it. It's the story of it. We're getting something that we never really saw possible in a Star Wars game. Because, like I said, you're not playing as a Jedi. You're playing as a scoundrel and a thief. And I like this type of perspective. And while a lot of people are still convinced that this game plays a little bit like an Uncharted, maybe because in a way of, part of the personality of Kay or the sense of humor of Nix. But here's the thing. This is where this game really utterly shines, in my personal opinion. My opinion. So don't take that as a grain of salt, or it's like a fraction more. Other than that, I really think that Star Wars Outlaws is, I would say, it's one of the best. I wouldn't say it's one of the best Star Wars games I've ever played. Obviously, the Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order. It's the fact that it's one of the best games of this year that I've played. I think I would say Black Myth Wukong has this game beat bar none. There's no question about it because that game was highly anticipated. It's the whole entire new trend of this year so far because ever since that game released. But however, I think when it comes to Star Wars Outlaws, this game scratches the itch of Star Wars fans other than playing Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order. I actually thoroughly believe that. And it's the reason why I always go back to this and talk to my friends as well, that if you really want a different type of perspective and going into a mindset of what a game like Star Wars Outlaws can give us in a matter of storytelling, character progression, and how it all intertwines and intermingles within the Empire and the galaxy of this game. And I think it did it so well in Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order as well. And I think that's where Star Wars Outlaws really just gives us it gives us the focal point of why this game is important, other than people are giving it a negativity and toxic feedback about this game as well. But again, I really think that this game, like I said, it's fucking awesome. I love this game. I have over 59 hours in this game. I mean, outside of the game in total. But in game, I at least probably have, I would say, I don't know, half hour. Not half hour. Maybe 35 hours, close to 40. And it's the fact that I really love the way how this game looks. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, the game looks terrible in terms of its graphic quality, and all the fidelity of the game, and the planets look barren, and they don't look interesting. They're soulless. And I'm just like, I just really think that it's nothing but verbal diarrhea. Yeah, and I just simply don't understand the toxicity or the negativity towards a game that I think, like I said before, a lot of people don't want to understand. I really thoroughly believe that. And am I talking, and basically am I saying that If I'm putting words into other people's mouths, I'm not. This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm passionate when it comes to video games. I know there's more to life than video games, but again, I just really think that Star Wars Outlaws is a really good testament of time when it comes to playing as a scoundrel and a thief. You know, it feels like an Uncharted. It plays like an Uncharted. But is it Uncharted? No, it's really not. Maybe a little bit, but not really. But again, that's what I love about this game. And it's the fact that you're able to fly your ship in the world, in space. I love it. And it all has to do with with the upgrades that you can do in this game. There are some RPG elements in this game that you can provide for K and for the Trailblazer or for the Speeder. And I really think that what I'm really trying to get to here, first and foremost and overall, a lot of people really have this game wrong. I really do. And like I said, I'm not putting words into anybody's mouths. I'm not telling anybody what to do. I am telling you of someone like me, of how deeply passionate I am. And what I'm saying is that it doesn't bother me really that a lot of people are, giving so much high-end demand of throwing so many negativity and toxicity over a game simply because of the fact they don't want to play it, because they think that they're afraid of getting invested into a game that they will possibly, maybe generally, fall in love with. I think that's another part. I think that's another issue as well. But again, final and overall, this game is a fantastic game. Like I said, I fucking love this game. And I am not afraid to voice my own opinions on this because. And I think that's the most important to me anyways, personally. And I'm hoping to. It might feel that this game, or my take on this game, as it were, might ruffle some few feathers. And honestly, I don't care. Because I'm going to say it right here and now. I have a real life job. I take my time on the content that I want to create. I love what I do. I'm passionate for it. I love it. It's fun. It might be a lot of work sometimes, but you know what? That's the fun of it. And so I really think that Star Wars Outlaws, it's definitely an underrated and an underappreciated game. And an underachiever, I would say, an underdog. But you know what? That's what makes this game great. I think, to me, in my eyes, I think that's what makes this game amazing. And I will say one thing, too, as well, is that do I care of the negativity I'll possibly get? Negative comments or toxic comments. You know what? That's on them. It's not on me. Because if nobody wants to hear me mumble jumbo talking about a game that I absolutely fell in love with from the get-go because I love Star Wars, opposite that of the prequel movies, of course, they were good in their own unique way, but they were also terrible. But overall, I really think that Star Wars Outlaws is an amazing game. So, anyways, so much further ado, this is Jake from Citizen JV. Thank you for tuning in. Greatly appreciated. Any comments or questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section below. And you guys have a good rest of your week, and I'll chat to you guys later. Peace.